Good morning, students. I am Dr. Parmveer Singh, and I am going to teach you about the term ethnography or ethnography research, which is a qualitative research used in the educational setup. And in this video, I am going to share with you about the different terms included in the ethnography. What are the various steps of ethnography? What are the various types of ethnography? And now, firstly, I am going to tell you about the meaning of ethnography. Ethnography comprises of two words, that is ethno and graphy. Ethno means people and graphy means writing. So ethnography means that writing about the people. Here I am going to tell you about the definition, which is given by the Johnson, as he defines ethnography as a descriptive account of social life and culture in a particular social system based on detailed observations of what people actually do. Basically, ethnography is the study of a particular culture, particular social system of the culture, detailed observations of the culture of the people who lived in that particular culture. Actually, this is the basically the observation or collection of information or gathering of the data about the particular culture or the particular community. Ethnography research in ethnographic research, it is sometimes a long time research, because the researcher stayed so many long time with within the community from which he or she he or she will gather the information, and so that that process sometimes take months, sometimes take years to gather the information about the particular culture of the particular community. The ethnographer collect data in the form of observational transcript. He or she can use various types of interview recordings. He or she can record the tapes. He or she can write up, collect the data in the form of any write-ups. The analysis of ethnography of the analysis of data in the ethnography leads to the development of the theory. At the end, the theory can be developed with the help of the gathered information, with the help of transcripts, with the help of recordings, with the help of interview recordings. All these things plays an important role in the development of the theory at the end of ethnography research. Ethnography includes various terms, which I am going to share with you. The first term which includes in ethnography is called as symbols. Symbols refers to any tradition or material artifact of particular culture, such as art, clothing, food, technology, and rituals. The ethnographer tries to understand the cultural connotations behind the symbols of a particular culture. And cultural next important thing involved in the ethnography is the culture patterning. Culture patterning means that ethnographic research believes that the meaning of symbols cannot be understood until it is paired with one or more symbols. Only single symbol have no meaning in that type of research. We can it demands a pairing of the symbols, that is the chaining of the symbols to understand the particular type of a symbol. Culture patterning refers to the study of culture pattern formed through relationship between two or more than two symbols. Here the ethnographer finds out the relation between the symbols, the chain between the symbols. He or she can find out the meaning of first symbol, the meaning of second symbol, third symbol, fourth symbol. He or she can understand about the various types of symbols, and then collect the or gather the information about the particular symbol. That is called as culture patterning. Tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge refers to those cultural beliefs which are firm in nature. They are also deeply embedded in their culture that they rarely need to be discussed by the member in an explicit way. And last is the situational reduction. Situational reduction, it refers to the belief of ethnographer that social structure and social dynamism are a result of several social situations. As we know that ethnographic research is holistic in nature, and believing that symbols cannot understood in isolation, as I earlier discussed, that they demanded some type of chain, they demanded some types of the link between the elements of the symbol. And in the process of situation reduction, the symbols we cannot take the symbol as a single term. It is the, we can take the symbol and instead the elements of all the symbols as a whole. And the one method of patterning is conceptual mapping. We can map the concept of the symbols by using the term of members of the culture themselves to relate symbols across varied form of behavior and varied contexts. This is called as situational reduction. There are various types of ethnography research, which is called as macro ethnography, micro ethnography, emic ethnography, etic ethnography. I can explain it here one by one. The first type is called as macro ethnography. It is the study of broadly defined culture. In that type, the researcher took the broad culture, that or the broad community, like he or she can take the North Indians, whole South Indians, or the culture of for whole North Indian culture from the South Indians. That study is called as macro ethnography study. And in micro, the researcher took narrow culture. Here she can take some members of the local government or some members of the some particular party, right? In this case, the data is narrow, from which he or she can gather the information. He or she can gather the information from the narrow culture, narrow community. Emic perspective is the ethnographic research approach to the way the members of the given culture perceive their world. How the members perceive their world in that type of research. The emic perspective is usually the main focus of the ethnography. And last one is the etic type of ethnography. Etic perspective is the ethnographic research approach to the way non-members, this is for the outsiders, how the outsiders perceive and interpret behavior and phenomena associated with the given culture. What is the viewpoint of the other members of the group or outsiders from the group? What is the viewpoint of other members of some other community about the particular culture for which you can collect the data or gather the information. Next are the steps of ethnography. As we know that every educational research has varied steps, and we know that the very first step is the selection of the problem. But in ethnographic research, as it is a qualitative research, and in qualitative research we can select firstly select the community or the culture of the population according to the interest of yours interest, according to the interest of the researcher. Here the researcher select the community or the particular culture. Next is the review of the literature. The researcher reviews the literature pertaining to the culture to get a brief idea and historical sketch of the culture sector for the study. In this review, the researcher collects the information about the related culture, about any information about the particular culture from various primary as well as secondary sources available in the study. He or she can firstly collect reviews about the studies, other studies, related studies about the particular culture, and find out something about the central idea of the culture before starting the study. Identification of the variables. The next step, the researcher then identify variables which interest him or her as well as the members of the culture and needs to be explored. Entry. At that stage, the researcher enters in the particular culture and gains the acceptance of the members of the culture. That is very important thing. Firstly, make the to take the cooperation from the member of the culture from where you gather the information. If you are if you are successful in gaining the acceptance of the members of the culture, then you can easily get the information from their side. Cultural immersion. In this step, the ethnographer lives in the culture for months or even years, which they have chosen to study. The middle stage of ethnographic method involves gaining information, and in that step, the researcher collects the informants and increase the informants and make the chaining of the informants to get the information from one person, from other person. The one person is linked with the other person, the other is linked with the other group of members, the other group of members are linked, so that he or she can collect the bunch of information from the particular culture in varied ways. Next is data collection. After gaining the confidence of the respondent, the researcher collects information in the form of observational transcripts and interview recording and taping. The researcher collect data in very varied forms, like he or she can collect data in form of interview, in form of observational transcripts, by recording the interviews, by recording the tapings, which are very helpful in gather the information and for the recording purpose and for interpretation of the facts collected for the data collection. Last but not least, the step is development of the theory. After analyzing the data, after interpreting the facts collected from various resources, the researcher formulates theory on the basis of interpretation of the result and reports achieved, and what are the interests of the particular culture, what are the behavior of the members of the particular culture, what are the interests of the particular culture. Everything can be quoted in the development of the theory on the basis of the gathered information. So thank you, students. This is all about the ethnographic research which I discussed here. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and for any query please comment me in my comment box. Thank you very much.